In this session, we'll be learning about the security features of Indian currency notes. Okay. So you'll be able to identify counterfeit currency notes from genuine currency notes. So starting with the features, right? The first feature would be the security thread that you see on your note. So on the security thread that you see is just on the left hand side of Mahatma Gandhi's portrait, okay, of the note. Okay, so portrait is here. So on his left hand side you will see, right? So you're looking at the note, it will be to the right. So the left of the portrait, okay. So you can see the note here. So Mahatma Gandhi's portrait is here and it's towards the left. Okay. So this is that line that you see as a security thread. It is a very important feature of the fancy note. Okay. Yeah. So it's an embedded thread means it is through and through the paper. Okay. So it is passing through the paper, right? So one part you can see, then in between you cannot see properly, and one part you can see the number. So it's alternative. So it's an embedded feature. Okay, and when you look closely, it has inscriptions Bharat in Hindi. Okay, which is written in Hindi, Bharat, and 2000 and RBI. Okay, for 2000 rupee note, 2500 rupee, 500. Okay, so you can see the thread. If it is held against the light, then you can see all of these inscriptions that are there on the security thread. Okay, so that is a very important feature of a security thread and a security feature of a currency note. So this is what we were talking about, right? So it's embedded, right? So initially what happened, it was uh, complete thread and it could be easily copied and it was embedding it, but the technique of printing the currency notes has become more sophisticated, which becomes very, very difficult for fraudsters or criminals to duplicate these notes. Then you have the watermark. So the watermark of Mahatma Gandhi that you see here. This is a 500 rupee note. Right? So where is the watermark? Right? Where is the watermark? The watermark is present here. Right? So if you look closely and put it against the light, you will be able to see the watermark of Mahatma Gandhi. Okay, as a shadow. Right? Micro lettering. So there is very small lettering that is not visible to the naked eye. Right? So this micro lettering contains the word RBI as well as some of the impressions of what is the denomination of the note. Okay, so that is what is known as micro lettering. It's a very small piece of writing that is present and very not very visible to the naked eye. You will need some amount of magnification to look at. Okay, latent image just above the observed. So if you look at this particular thing, okay, so if you put it against that, okay, so you see this is the 500 rupee note. Just at the side of this 500 rupee, if you look at this against the light, you will be able to see another 500 rupees 500 that is mentioned over there. Okay, so that is like a latent image that you'll see. Same with other denominations. Okay, and you can see that over here. So this is something that you can't see, right? So when you look at it against the light, you'll be able to see the 500, 2000, etc. Identification marks that are there. So this is 500 rupee note. Okay, so in 1000 rupees, that is where the old note. But you can look at 2000 and see what is the identification mark as a self-study. You can see the circular 500. What was old is still followed now because it is helping in the blind to operate here. Okay, so it helps me differentially able to detect what kind of note it is, what is currency that is being become. Intact printing is a kind of, say, lifted printing, so that the person, especially the 500, that is, you may not be the person who's trained to use braille system, they will be able to read it. So it's a lifted type of printing. It is not what you normally find on your A4 sheet paper. So for the convenience of blind, as mentioned over here, so these are the various things that are printed in this particular type of printing, right? So the various aspects. So all of this is printed with the intaglio printing. So you will be able to determine that particular characteristic. And from the time of demonetization, uh, after that they started introducing what is known as bleeding lines. Right? So these bleed lines are here. The number of bleed lines varies for each node. So the bleed lines are kind of an identification mark to determine what type of note it is, whether it is 100, 500, 1000, 2000 rupee note, 1000, so 2000 rupee note. Optically variable link. So it's like a hologram kind of an effect. When you look at an hologram in the light and you tilt it, you'll be able to see different images. So in that, when you look at the note, especially the 500 rupees that is there, okay, and you keep the angle of light varying, you'll be able to see the color that is changing. Okay, so the numerical digit 2000, 500, etc. that is there. Yeah, all right. The numerical digit that is present here. That is what we are having the optically variable ink or color changing characteristic that is put into that particular picture. Then we have the see-through register. Okay, the see-through register. Okay, is here. Just a blatant printing that is there here. On the perpendicular side, you can see the see-through register. And we'll see it's kind of a checkered kind of a design. Okay, but again, by looking at it against the light, you'll be able to see complete 500 from this side, and you'll be able to see complete 500 from that side. Okay, so from both sides, you'll be able to see 500 or 1000 or 100 or 2000, right? When it is held against the light. But when you just normally look at it, you won't be able to make out much. You'll be able to see because you've been trained to look at it if you're looking at it properly. But then looking at it against light will give you more clarity. Then the fluorescence effect that is there, when you put it under UV light, you will be able to see the different fluorescent fibers are there, optical variable link, how it reacts with the fluorescence. Okay, so those kind of things will help you determine the counterfeit notes from the genuine notes. Okay. Thank you, and I hope this session was beneficial to you in terms of determining the security features in Indian currency.